What is up, everyone? JD here. Quick unboxing for you. Only reason I'm doing this unboxing is because my birthday is on the 30th of September, and the whole reason that I picked this one up is because I wanted a Sebenza that was close to my birthday, September 21st. Really close, so I'm excited about that. Let's go ahead and jump into this review.
Much later.
Today I'm excited to be reviewing my birthday Benza. What we'll be doing today is going through specs, size comparisons, and diving into my thoughts and impressions of the Sebenza 31. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The Sebenza has a 3.6 inch S45 VN blade, 4.7 inch titanium frame lock. Overall length is 8.3 inches and the claimed weight 4.7 ounces. Let's grab the scale and check that really quick. I grabbed that weight off of Blade HQ, so let's see if that is right. Yep, coming in at exactly 4.7 ounces. Really nice to see that matches the manufacturer's weight. Let's go ahead and adjust this. I was recording something else and just realized I am not nearly low enough. All right, so the next thing we'll do is go ahead and run through some size comparisons. First, we're going to bring out the Demco AD 20.5, and we'll also bring out the Spyderco Shaman. So you can see here that the Sebenza 31 is going to be just a little bit longer than either one of these knives. Let's go ahead and move these out of the way. And we will bring out the Benchmade Bug Out, very recognizable knife, very popular EDC. As you can see, the Sebenza 31 is just larger overall. And we will bring out the SIG K320 made by Hogue. And you will see here the Sebenza 31 is bigger than both, at least the large variant that you see out here today. Let me go ahead and move these off of the table and grab the budget knives. First up is going to be the Kubi KU321. I am bumping everything, the knife, the tripod. That is a sub 3-inch knife, and we will bring out the Buck 110. And the Buck 110 is actually just a little bit longer overall, but it does have that similar slender profile. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Let me go ahead and run through my thoughts and impression. The first thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, because I've had the Nkosi and I have the Umanzan, I just feel like there is definitely differences between all three models. So this one feels more thin and more EDCable in hand, and I'm not quite sure if that's because it is a little bit more slender right here behind the blade, and then it kind of fattens out as you get back towards it. But it ergonomically, it's just really comfortable. It's not just a good looking piece, it's really comfortable to hold and to use when you're pushing through push cuts. It is a very high tip, so when you go through the draw cuts, you do have to get up, but it's not anything that is unmanageable. The hollow grind on here is really well done. It has a deep hollow grind. It is super thin, way up behind the edge, and it has a very nice sharpening choil. Your sharpening choil where the plunge grind ends is way up here, So you have all of this right here for that sharpening choil. Beautiful drop point. Like the Nkosi, this has that extremely pointy, very uncomfortable thumb stud on it. It has to be one of the least comfortable thumb studs I've ever encountered on a knife. It just feels like it is just drilling into your thumb when you go to open it. The Umanzan actually is very comfortable because it's more rounded, and it has the little rubber grommets on there because those are also the frame. The thumb studs act as the stop pin on that knife, whereas this one here actually has the stop pin. So it stops right there. And you can see it does have a very thin blade. I got a plain Jane. Again, this is my birthday Benza, born in September, same month as me. So that is the reason that I decided to pick this one up. I knew it was going to be harder to find a Zahn that was manufactured in September. Plus, I really love my Zahn. I have no reason to get rid of it just to get a birthday month, date of birth that matches mine as well. This one here, I noticed that for whatever reason, more is showing up on it. This is literally just from going in and out of the storage case. So it is very sensitive and susceptible to marks and things of that nature. It doesn't really bother me because I use all my knives. I have no save queens. Granted, there are knives that are ergonomically a little bit better that I will gravitate towards first, but that doesn't mean that they don't get used. I have not completely broken this one in. It is getting closer to where you can flick it open. It is very, very smooth. As you see there, you can kind of get it really close. If you give it just a little bit of gas, you can get it to open up all the way. But of course, purists are going to tell you that really the experience is meant to be rolled open, and it does. It has a very glassy, smooth transition opening and closing. Access to the lock bar is very good. Feels comfortable whether you like to lift up or whether you like to just slide it over or push it in. It is not meant to be drop shut. So this is definitely not one I don't think even broken in. It's going to really drop shut unless you try to push really hard against the lock bar. And I don't see anything on here outside of the pocket clip that's meant to act like a stop pin. So I really try not to overextend pushing it out. It has the ceramic bead that all Chris Reeve knives have. And you can see there you're looking at about 50, let me get it this way, looking at about 50% lockup. So really nice lockup there. Just a really comfortable knife. Now, let me talk a little bit about, now this is very similar to the Nkosi having the 2 finger holes, so you have a little bit more of it telling you what to do. What I'd like to do also as part of this video is go ahead and bring out the Zahn, because I really want to talk about the differences between these 2 knives. Now, they're both the large size knives as I clank them together, but there's some very big differences here. So you have more handle closer to the blade on the Zahn and less towards the back until you get right to the very end here. So your cutout is not as neutral behind the choil on the Sebenza as it is on the Zahn. So this is more neutral. This is not. You have the finger cutout here that is exactly telling you where to put your finger, and then on the Zahn you have just a little bit of a finger cutout right here in front of your lock bar tab. So in hand, they're completely different in how they feel. Also, the way that this is chamfered, it feels more blocky and chunky in hand. And it just feels like it's a little bit more of a heavy duty mentality as far as the ergonomics are concerned, whereas this feels more like an EDC friendly. It's very thin in hand by comparisons. Now, the thicknesses are not that different. What it comes down to is going to be your chamfering. So you see here, the Sebenza is only slightly thinner, but you see how it's chamfered all around the edges? Compared to the the Zahn doesn't have the chamfering going on, so that helps make the Sebenza feel more slender in hand. Granted, it is just, again, let me see, maybe I can do it from the bottom of these and show them to you. You see the Sebenza, it's a little bit thinner, but that chamfering also really makes it feel like a huge, huge difference. So the Sebenza is thinner in hand, and even though it doesn't look like much, it really feels very different. I can't compare too much for the blade. I will say that the hollow grind on the drop point feels like it goes a little bit deeper, but not by much. I actually would say I prefer the Tonto for this, either one of these knives, because of the flat surface, being able to cut through, and then you have 2 tips. You don't have to get up as high for the utility cuts, and you still have a very strong tip out in front if you had to puncture in to whatever it is that you needed to cut through. So I do like it from that standpoint. But these are both very enjoyable, and I'm very happy with the fact that the Sebenza is more of like an EDC knife. And I say EDC meaning like if you like a bug out, you like a Demco 80-20.5, it's very thin like those types of knives. So here it is against the Demco 80-20.5. You can see that's relatively close. Let's see here. There you go. So you can see it is relatively close. You do have a little bit of a lip up here and ramped up there. And then I'll bring the bug out with the titanium scales, and you can see these are virtually identical. It's really hard for me to hold them, and still I don't know why people are like, move your thumb. It's really hard for me to kind of hold them together and line them up to where you can see they're very, very similar in thickness. So this is definitely more thin. Not to say that you can't work with it. It definitely feels very durable, and then as I mentioned earlier, the thumb studs, just so pointy and uncomfortable on the Sebenza. That is probably something that I will swap out. I really did, I don't have much intentions to do anything with that one because I carry this one a little bit. I will definitely carry a little. I know I just got this, but I will definitely carry the Zon a little bit more just because of the temperament and the ergos and everything fitting my hand so well. But that's not to say the Sebenza won't get carried. I'm just saying that's probably all that I will change is the stud, and probably eventually lose this lanyard. The only reason I haven't done it is because I don't want the jiggling, and I haven't had a chance to research to see if you can replace the barrel on that. As far as the Sebenza experience, I mean, there's really nothing like it, meaning not the quality, and it is extremely well built. That's not what I'm saying, but I mean how it opens and closes. It has that very slow roll motion. You could probably get some spider coast to kind of sort of give you that experience, but even then when you go to close it, it's just, it's not a frame lock, so you're not really getting that same experience. But you can slow roll it, and these are very smooth to open and close, but it feels like a much more deliberate type of thing. Even though it is glassy, it feels just, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for to explain what the experience is when you get the Chris Reeve knives. They're just very different. Feels very deliberate and old school. It's like not aggressive, but it definitely feels like you need to kind of manhandle the knife to open and close it. So I don't know that I'm necessarily putting it into words that are really going to help you if you're not familiar with it. But I would definitely say if you have the opportunity to handle, it doesn't matter, the Inkosi, the Sebenza, the Umanzon, does not matter which one. I say that at the very least, you should experience what it's like to actually handle an actual Chris Reeve knives, to see the fit and finish in person, to actually get to see what their hollow grind and blade grinds are like. They're very nice and very well done. And again, these are some Grail knives. I can definitively say, without a doubt, the Umanzon will not go anywhere. I hope that will be a family heirloom that I can hand down to one of my boys, and I think the Sebenza will end up being another one of those. I know I have the Benchmade bug out that my wife bought me. That's definitely not going to go anywhere, but as far as like a family heirloom, I'm sure one of my kids are going to want it, but I think this is, a little bit more special and something that they might want to hang on to. So I don't really see myself getting rid of this. I didn't buy it with the intention of getting rid of it. It was, a birthday Benza, meaning it represents the month that I was born in, so it's a little bit more special in that regard. But if you were to tell me I had to pick between the two, it would definitely be the Zon, 100%. Is it worth getting? Yeah. If you like the looks of this, and you can get your hands on one. I just literally signed up for a notification. When it came in, I went out and got it. Having said that, I did notice with the price hike, it was out there available for 3 days. I've never seen a Chris Reeve knives sit available for 3 days. That blew my mind. Anyway, that's it. Very good knife. Very nice build quality. Very similar to the Inkosi, which I really did like as well. Loved that knife. I sold the Inkosi to buy the Zon, and I sold some other knives. I intended to buy other things, but some of the stuff I couldn't quite get, so that's how I ended up with the Sebenza instead. But you know me, I have to move inventory to fund other knives and things of that nature. But I definitely think it's worth experiencing. Even if you can't afford it, try to get down to a knife retailer or a gun and knife retailer. to see if they carry them so that you can at least hold one in hand and see what it's all about, if they'll let you do that. If not, check with a friend. I'm sure some of you guys know somebody with one. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, leave a like. If you are enjoying the content, consider subscribing and following along. Thank you all to who are already subscribed. I appreciate all the support in the comments and the continued interaction. It means the world to me. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.